It is the City Council regular meeting, April 6th. Madam Clerk.
Mayor Ronnie Felder.
Here.
Councilperson Trodrick McCoy.
Here.
Councilperson Kashamba Miller Anderson.
Present.
Councilperson Shirley Lanier.
Here.
Councilperson Julia Botel.
Here.
Councilperson Douglas Lawson.
Here.
City Manager Jonathan Evans.
Present.
City Clerk Claudine Anthony is present. City Attorney Don Nguyen.
Here.
You may proceed.
We will have a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Miller Anderson.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk.
Members of the board, we will now have the administration of the oath of office. Mayor Ronnie Felder and Councilperson Trodrick McCoy will be sworn in by the Honorable Judge Harper, followed by the swearing in of Councilperson Lanier and then Councilperson Lawson by the Honorable Judge Cheeseman in that order. Judge Harper, Mayor Felder.
Right there's good. Good evening to the Honorable Mayor, Madam Chairperson, distinguished council members, and members of the community. Would you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I, Ronnie L. Felder,
I, Ronnie L. Felder,
being a citizen of the state of Florida
being a citizen of the state of Florida
and of the United States of America,
and of the United States of America,
and being elected to represent mayor
and being elected to represent mayor
in the city of Riviera Beach,
in the city of Riviera Beach,
Palm Beach County, Florida,
Palm Beach County, Florida,
and a recipient of public funds
and a recipient of public funds
in this capacity,
in this capacity,
do hereby solemnly
do hereby solemnly
swear or affirm
swear or
under oath
under oath
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and of the state of Florida,
and conform to the statutes
and conform to the statutes
and general laws
and general laws
of the state of Florida,
of the state of Florida,
and do all
and do all
in my power
in my power
to uphold, support,
support,
and enforce
and enforce
the charter
charter
and ordinances
and ordinances
of the city of Riviera Beach,
of the city of Riviera Beach,
Florida,
Florida,
and perform the duties
and perform the duties
for the office
for the office
of mayor,
mayor,
upon which
upon which
I am about to enter,
I am about to enter,
and to the best of my ability,
and to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can put your right hand down. I give you your mayor, Ronnie L. Felder.
That's it.
We will now have Councilman Trodrick McCoy.
Honorable Judge, thank you. Before you start, this isn't just Trodrick McCoy, so I would like to invite all my family, since on March 2nd, 2022, there was suggestion that I wasn't loved by my family. So where are you, family? Maceo, Come on, baby. My brother, my grandmother, my auntie, and all my hitters, I should say. Hey, baby, yo. Hey, baby. Who's that, Mom? There's more, right? No, I need them all, Mayor. I'm sorry, Judge, I need them all.
Yes, sir.
And even, not just my brother Cortez, but my brother from another mother. He already know who he is, so he might well come on up here. No? There you go. The Honorable Senator Bobby Powell. Yes, sir. Who is that, Auntie? I'm sorry, I do the most. Thank you, Honorable Circuit Court Judge. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. In the presence of family, friends, and community, I, Tradrick McCoy,
I, Trodrick McCoy,
being a citizen of the state of Florida
being a citizen of the state of Florida
and of the United States of America,
and of the United States of America,
and being elected to represent City Council District 1
City Council number 1
in the city of Riviera Beach,
in the city of Riviera Beach,
Palm Beach County, Florida,
Palm Beach County, Florida,
and a recipient of public funds
and a recipient of public funds. I had to check.
in this capacity,
In this capacity,
do hereby solemnly swear
I solemnly swear
or affirm
and affirm
under oath
under oath
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and of the state of Florida,
and conform to the statutes
and conform to the statutes
and general laws
and general laws
of the state of Florida,
of the state of Florida,
and do all in my power
and do all in my power
to uphold,
to uphold,
support,
and
and
enforce
the charter and ordinances
the Charter of Riviera Beach and the ordinances of Riviera Beach,
of the city of Riviera Beach, Florida,
of the city of Riviera Beach, Florida,
and perform the duties for the office of city council,
and perform the duties of office of city council,
upon which
I
am about to enter,
am about to enter
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
You can put your right hand down. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you city council.
Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Shirley Lanier,
I, Shirley D. Lanier,
being a citizen of the state of Florida
being a citizen of the state of Florida
and of the United States of America,
and of the United States of America,
and being elected to represent
City Council District 3
City Council District 3
in the city of Riviera Beach,
and the city of Riviera Beach,
Palm Beach County, Florida,
Palm Beach County, Florida,
and a recipient of public funds in this capacity,
and a recipient of public funds in this capacity,
hereby solemnly swear or affirm
hereby solemnly swear or affirm
under oath
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and of the state of Florida,
and confirm to the statutes
and confirm to the statutes
and the general laws of the state of Florida,
of the general laws of the state of Florida,
and do all in my power to uphold,
and do all in my power to uphold,
support, and enforce
support, and enforce
the charter and ordinances
the charter and the ordinances
of the city of Riviera Beach, Florida,
of the city of Riviera Beach, Florida,
and perform the duties
and perform the duties
of the office of city council
of the office of city council
upon which I'm about to enter
upon which I'm about to enter
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God. Good. Thank you, thank you. You got a picture? Got a picture? Let's do it again. Let's see. There we go. Got a picture. Got it? All right. Very good.
Douglas A. Lawson.
That's yours, for you to keep.
Congratulations, Councilperson.
Thank you.
I'm gonna have to have my family come and support me. Come on. Don't be scared. Come on. Hey. No, just a couple. Just a couple.
Oh.
It's my support system, man. They here. I'm Bishop Pat. Yeah, you better be up here. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm ready now.
You ready?
Ready.
Raise your right hand. I, Douglas A. Lawson,
I, Douglas A. Lawson,
being a citizen of the state of Florida
being a citizen of the state of Florida
and of the United States of America,
and of the United States of America,
being elected to represent
and being elected to represent
City Council District 5
City Council District 5
in the city of Riviera Beach, Palm Beach County, Florida,
in the city of Riviera Beach, Palm Beach County, Florida,
and a recipient of public funds in this capacity,
and a recipient of public funds in this capacity,
do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
or affirm under oath
or affirm under oath
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and of the state of Florida,
and conform to the statutes and general laws
and conform to the statutes and general laws
of the state of Florida,
of the state of Florida,
and do all in my power
and do all in my power
to uphold, support, and enforce
to uphold, support, and enforce
the charter and ordinances
the charter and
of
ordinances
the city of Riviera Beach, Florida,
of the city of Riviera Beach, Florida,
and perform the duties
And-
for the office
and perform the duties for the office
of city council
of City Council
upon which I am about to enter
upon which I'm about to enter
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, City Council.
Make it official.
Yes. I was testing.
That's all right.
Want to make sure you do.
Marie?
Gonna do it now? Congratulations.
We will take a brief 5-minute recess before we continue our meeting. We are going to resume our meeting. Please have your seats. Thank you. We'll go to our we're going to resume our meeting. Mr. McCoy? Go ahead. All right, very good. We're going to go to our next item. Madam Clerk?
Members of the board, before we continue on with this particular section of the agenda, the acceptance of public comment cards for this particular section of the agenda is now closed. I know that public comments are not listed on the agenda, so it is up to you as the board as to whether or not you will allow the public to speak during this portion of the agenda.
Yeah, we decided we'll put it at the end of the 1E.
After 1E or before 1E?
Before 1E.
Before 1E? Thank you.
I'm sorry. Pardon me for my tardiness. Can you repeat that?
We're going to have public comments at the end of or before 1E. Yes, before 1E.
Before one what? I'm sorry.
1E.
E as in echo?
Yes.
We're not going to have any other?
We're having,
Madam Chair, can we, I'm sorry, I'm really having difficulties understanding where we are, so just from clarity's sakes, can you repeat that?
I'm saying that we're going to have public comment on these items, and that public comment is going to come after or before 1E.
Okay, all right, got you. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Madam Clerk?
Members of the board, we're now down to the nominations for City Council Chair.
Madam Chair, I nominate Kashamba Miller Anderson for City Council Chair.
Second?
Okay, well, we're doing nominations and we're not doing votes, so I'm going to go ahead and nominate Councilman Douglas Lawson from the 5th District.
Second.
We're not doing seconds, we're doing nominations. So I think the floor is open for nominations. Am I correct, Madam Chair?
Yes, you are correct. We have 2 nominations on the floor. You want to take the first nomination?
Is the floor closed for nominations?
Sir.
Are there any additional nominations for
Sure.
chairperson?
My name is Trodrick McCoy. I nominate myself.
Thank you. You have 3 nominations.
Are there any additional nominations for chairperson? The floor is now closed for the nomination of City Council Chair for 2022-2023.
So can we review the nominations?
The nominations on the floor for chairperson is Councilperson Kashamba Miller Anderson, Councilperson Douglas Lawson, and Councilperson Trodrick McCoy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Can I get a motion for the selection of Councilperson Miller Anderson?
So moved.
Second?
I will now proceed with the vote. Councilperson McCoy?
No.
Councilperson Miller Anderson?
Yes.
Councilperson Lanier?
Yes.
Councilperson Botel?
Yes.
Councilperson Lawson?
No.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
may I speak?
We have a motion on the floor. We have a roll call.
Is it
Could you make
possible
that
to speak
announcement? Yes,
before?
sir. You don't have a chance to
I
speak.
want to speak before that. is
Before
voted.
the announcement?
Can I speak before?
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. I just want to say, I think that this isn't a fair process. Because, hey, let me speak. Hold it down.
Quiet in the audience, please.
Each one of you guys have had an opportunity to be the chair. Regardless of the feelings, what's right is 2 other council members have gotten voted by the community. So they deserve the same opportunity because people have voted for them also. Now, if you want to start to put the biases away, I think it starts, let's do the right thing tonight and not have the same rotation of chairpersons when there have been 2 other council members that have been on this board for 3 years and they're being overlooked. The thing about it is, it's not about us, it's about the residents. Those residents went out and voted for these guys. Now, fair is fair. So I think we should reconsider, put the feelings to the side, and let's do the right thing for the residents, not for our own agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk, could you make the announcement, please?
The motion to select Councilperson Miller Anderson as the chairperson for 2022-23 passes with Councilpersons McCoy and Lawson dissenting.
Debate.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Is this Trodrick McCoy for debate?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Oh, that's interesting. So thank you, Honorable Mayor, for bringing up that. Quite frankly, I think that's very admirable that you would remind members that Trodrick McCoy 2022 garnered more votes than anyone. 2019, Trodrick McCoy garnered more votes than anyone in both the general and in the runoff election. But I certainly don't know how this is proper to take debate after you've already taken official action. But, you know, the majority decides. But obviously, if that's not the desire of the board, I respect that. But I think from a procedural standpoint, I think you have to at least entertain the discussion that you did. And Madam Chair, just out of professional courtesy, I'm trying to look down and I can't even look at the mirror. You mind removing that arrangement because I can't even see? And I'll take mine down. I was trying to look at the mayor. Okay, but thank you, Honorable Mayor, for bringing up the point. And let me preface this on, I've never been about a title, right? I've been here to serve, and I think my record shows that. I've done 7.5+ years on the Planning and Zoning Board, and through
Madam Chair.
And through my time doing that, I was nominated and elected chair multiple times. But while I do respect the decision that's made by this body, I vehemently disagree on the decision and the procedural manner in which it was taken. And I want to make sure that I put that on the record. Additionally, while we did have 3 affirmative votes, I think it's proper, Ms. Anthony and also Ms. Nguyen, that even though you've gotten a majority vote, you can't, and nor can you believe that that absolves you from the ability and obligation to vote on the other nominees. So I do rest my comments on that, and I defer to the clerk and also to the city attorney to call a roll call vote, because at this point, it's never been about Trodrick McCoy, but it's about preserving the record. And I think we've done a great job of doing that, and in some cases, not such a good job. So I look for an opinion if the clerk or the attorney so indulges. Thank you.
Can I get a motion to select Councilperson Lawson as the chairperson?
So moved.
Second.
Councilperson McCoy?
Yes.
Councilperson Miller Anderson?
No.
Councilperson Lanier?
No.
Councilperson Botel?
No.
Councilperson Lawson?
Yes.
That motion fails with councilpersons Miller Anderson, Lanier, and Botel dissenting. Can I get a motion to select Councilperson McCoy as the chairperson?
So moved.
Second.
Councilperson McCoy?
Yes.
Councilperson Miller Anderson?
No.
Councilperson Lanier?
No.
Councilperson Botel?
No.
Councilperson Lawson?
Yes.
That motion fails with Councilperson Miller Anderson, Lanier, and Botel dissenting. Councilperson Miller Anderson is the chairperson for the City Council for 2022-2023.
Madam Clerk, so we're going to 1C. Item 1C.
Request for nominations for City Council Chair Pro Tem for 2022-2023.
I nominate, is the floor open?
Yes, I was going to say the floor is open for nominations.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
I nominate the Commissioner and Council Member from the 5th District, Douglas Lawson, for Councilperson Pro Tem.
I'd like to nominate myself for Chair Pro Tem.
Second.
Any other nominations?
I'm sorry, procedural parliamentary inquiry. This is nominations?
Yes,
This is
we're
not
only
a floor vote.
Mr.
So is the
McCoy.
floor still open for nominations?
Mr. McCoy, I was going to tell her, it's still open for nominations.
We've been here, well, she's been here 6 years. She still doesn't know the rules yet.
We're doing nominations.
Do you want to keep your remarks ad hominem to yourself?
Miss Dr. Botel, are there any other nominations? All right, so the floor is
Madam
closed
Chair?
for nominations?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
this is a gentleman from the 1st District, Broderick McCoy. I've known him all my life, 38 years. I think he's a pretty solid guy. I nominate him for Chair Pro Tem.
All right. Any other nominations? All right, the floor is closed for nominations. Madam Clerk?
Can I get a motion to select Councilperson Lawson as the Chair Pro Tem?
Madam Chair, move to nominate Councilman Douglas Lawson as Pro Tem.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Councilperson McCoy?
Yes.
Councilperson Botel?
No.
Councilperson Lanier?
No.
Councilperson Lawson?
Yes.
Chair Miller Anderson?
No.
That motion fails with Councilperson Botel, Lanier, and Miller Anderson dissenting. Can I get a motion to select Councilperson Lanier as Pro Tem
So
of the
moved.
City Council?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Councilperson McCoy?
No.
Councilperson Lanier?
Yes.
Councilperson Botel?
Yes.
Councilperson Lawson?
No.
Chair Miller Anderson?
Yes.
That motion is approved with Councilperson McCoy and Lawson dissenting. Can I
We're not done yet. We're not done yet. We still have one more to do.
get a motion to select Councilperson McCoy as Chair Pro Tem?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Councilperson McCoy?
Yes.
Councilperson Lanier?
No.
Councilperson Botel?
No.
Councilperson Lawson?
Yes.
Chair Miller Anderson?
No.
That motion fails with councilpersons Miller Anderson, Lanier, and Botel dissenting. Councilperson Lanier,
I'm sorry.
Councilperson Lanier is the chair pro tem for the city council for 2022-2023.
All right, thank you. Item number 1D.
Madam Chair, members of the board, item number 1D, presentation of the 2022 municipal election results.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Madam Chair, can you have her to repeat that, and also, please notify the members of the public if we have difficulties hearing?
I can't hear you. What did you say?
I did not hear what the clerk read into the record, and can you also remind the members of the public we have difficulties hearing up here?
Sure. Go ahead, clerk.
Presentation of the 2022 municipal election results. Madam Chair, members of the board, as indicated in the background information, the results from the 2022 municipal election cycle presented the winners for Mayor, District 1, District 3, and District 5. District 1, Councilperson Trodrick McCoy. District 3, Councilperson Shirley Lanier. District 5, at large, Councilperson Lawson, Mayor Ronnie Felder. This is just a formal procedural manner. As indicated, it is required by Section 5-11B of the city's Code of Ordinances for the city clerk to present the results to the board. No action is required. A copy of the results is a part of the backup information, but the certified results are also posted on the city's website.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
clarification question for the clerk. That, you just presented us with just the results of who the...
Yes,
Presumpt-
that's the only
Let
thing,
me-
Madam Chair.
I'm sorry, I'm going to ask a question. Please allow me to finish if you don't mind. You're presenting the preemptive or presumptive winner, I should say. Presumptive winner. Is that what I'm hearing?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
what I just stated to the members of the board and to the public is what has been certified by the Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections Office.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair. Madam Chair,
Yes.
Madam Chair, please, Madam Clerk, if it's possible, could we either lower the mask or something, because it's not exactly clear, and I want to make sure that it's clear so I can hear it, and that's also for the record. Can you repeat that?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
as previously stated, what has been presented is what was certified by the Palm Beach County Supervisor of Election. The results of the election that was certified by the Supervisor of Election for Palm Beach County. The results are posted on the city's website, as well as were made a part of the backup information.
Follow up.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Clerk, you said that's what was certified by whom?
The certification that's, Madam Chair, as indicated on the document, the certification reads, State of Florida, County of Palm Beach, I, Wendy Sator Link, Supervisor of Elections, hereby certify that this is a true and correct copy of the records on file in this office. The election that was held March 8th, 2022, that certification is dated March 16th, 2022. For the election that was held March 22nd, 2022, that certification is dated March 31st, 2022.
Okay, follow up, Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
So, and pardon me for asking these questions, because I'm just trying to make sure that I hear you, for one, because it's a little bit difficult. I just want to make sure I understand. You said that that was the certification that was done by Wendy Link, the Supervisor of Elections.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
Madam Chair, members of the board, when you look at the document, that is the certification.
I'm sorry, it was yes or no was the question. Is that done by the Supervisor of Elections?
The certification on the document states that it's done by Wendy Satori Link.
Okay, follow up.
Go ahead.
Madam Clerk, our charter provides that there are specific judges for municipal elections. Do you know that portion or recall that portion of the charter?
That portion of the charter, Madam Chair?
Yes or no, do you recall that specific portion of the charter that provides for who the judges are of our Riviera Beach elections?
Madam Chair,
Yes. Go
in
ahead.
reading that particular section of
So
the...
I'm looking for a yes or no answer. Either you recall or you don't.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
If you're not going to answer yes or no, I withdraw my question.
Madam Chair, I'm unable to answer that question, yes
Okay.
or no.
Oh, the city clerk, the supervisor of elections, does not know who the judge of the elections are underneath the charter. Madam Chair, can I ask a follow-up question?
Sure, but I
How long
don't
have you been
know if
employed
she's
with
gonna be
this
able to answer
organization,
that.
Ms. Claudine Anthony?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I have been employed with the city of Riviera Beach for 32 years.
How long have you been the municipal clerk for the city of Riviera Beach?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I have been the city clerk for 6 years.
6 years. So, follow-up, Madam Chair.
Yes.
You do have some level of autonomy when it comes to your position as city clerk, that you adhere specifically to the charter and the state statutes, correct? And the code of ordinances.
Madam Chair,
Let me hold on one second. Mr. McCoy,
There's a question.
I know, and this is what I want to ask the attorney, because we know there's some litigation.
Well, obviously, she just presented something. I would hope that she can justify it, and if you're saying that she can't, then quite frankly, I don't know why we're here today.
Okay.
If she can't answer that question, then that
Okay.
calls into question why she's been here for 30-plus years, and even in that role as city clerk for over 6.
So,
And that's a very simple question, yes, no, or I don't know. And if she doesn't know, respectfully, I was elected by the members, and I think I deserve that answer.
Ms. Nguyen?
I asked Ms. Anthony. She doesn't know her role? Madam Chair, are you going to allow Ms. Anthony to speak? If she can say yes, no, or I don't know,
Well, she's
that
a-
would suffice for me.
You said you don't know. Is that what you said?
I indicated, Madam Chair, if I recall correctly, that I am unable to answer the question.
I withdraw. I withdraw. She's unable to answer.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right. So is that it for 1D?
That concludes the presentation.
Thank you. 1E, comments, remarks by the mayor and city council. When, you're going to do the
Madam Chair,
public comment?
members of the board, it was indicated that the public will be able to make comments at this time.
Okay.
And the acceptance of public comments for this particular section of the agenda is now closed. Mary Bram.
May I please ask, is this 1E or A or B?
It's for all of them
It's
together.
all- Okay, so please narrate my time here, okay. Good evening, board. Good evening to the new elected officials. We are here today because this is what the voters have said. Last year, in September, Ms. Link came and she did a workshop here. All of us came to engage in the process. Ms. Bram came out. Ms. Bram asked questions. Right before the election that was on March the 8th, Ms. Bram was down to the supervisor of elections office to make sure that her residents was well informed in how to vote, absentee ballots, how many can you pick up, and how many you cannot pick up. This is the liking of the voters. We are here, not permanent, but temporary. And as governed elected officials, let's strive to do better. Let's strive to realize that, Councilman McCoy, you said that you sat on the planning and zoning board and all of those exits there, which is a good thing. But let me just share something with you all. It's not always the winners that have their jobs cut out for them. See, It's either a winner or a loser. And there's no in between there. But when we look at the losers, because see, Miss Bram doesn't run because this is what Miss Bram has to do. She has to bring truth to power to let everybody know. Just because the things did not go Miss Bram's way, but that doesn't mean Miss Bram is not going to get in there and work with everyone. Not for the good of Miss Bram, but for the good of this city. We are on the move here doing great things in this city here. But if we could constantly consist of these attitudes, the election was certified. It was certified. The voters have spoken. And it's not that a horse didn't come in because that horse that you or I or anybody else may have wanted. It's what the voters said. And democracy is by the voters, for the people, and by the people. So you as a board that was elected, Ms. Bram, employ you to work together to move this city in a direction and where it's supposed to be. Because there shall be a next time, and a next time, and a next time. This is not the end. Your election here is the beginning to do great things for this city here.
Thank you, Ms.
Like
Brown.
you've already said. Thank you.
Madam Chair, that concludes public comment.
That's all for one?
That is, Madam Chair.
All right. So now we're down to the agenda approval. Additions, deletions, or substitutions, do we have any?
None from staff, Madam Chair.
All right. Any from council?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes.
I'm just curious, procedurally and from a parliamentary standpoint, we just already had business discussed and voted on. How is it that we're adopting agenda at this point?
Ms. Nguyen or Ms. Anthony?
My dear friends from the public, this is really about to get interesting, so I would ask that you don't leave. If we're only adopting the agenda now, how is it that we've already taken care of official business? All right, well, I withdraw my question. I withdraw.
Someone answer the question, please.
I withdraw, Madam Chair. We can move on.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we're at additions, deletions, and substitutions. We don't have any disclosures by council.
I would ask that we delete the rest of this agenda because
I can't hear you. Say that again.
Madam Chair, respectfully, I would ask that we delete the remaining of the agenda because clearly we've already taken business and we voted on items, and it appears that I don't know how you can actually take a vote on anything if we haven't formally adopted agenda. So while many may not understand or agree with my method of madness, I remember it was in 2019 that specifically we were prohibited and forbidden from even starting a meeting because it was never adopted. Now we've already elected a chair and a chair pro tem, and now we're gonna adopt the agenda? I mean, you may urinate on my leg and tell me it's ring. I don't believe it.
All right, so we have an attorney and a city clerk here, so they can answer the question, and so we can move on. What are we
Well, you
gonna
know
do?
what? I withdraw that too. Let's continue with the
All
rest
right,
of the agenda.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right. I have a motion to adopt the agenda.
Motion to adopt the agenda.
All right, we have a second.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Councilperson McCoy,
Nope.
Councilperson Lanier,
Yes.
Councilperson Botel,
Yes.
Councilperson Lawson,
No.
Chair Miller Anderson.
Yes.
That motion is approved.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
City Clerk, is there any validity in what Councilman McCoy just said about us continuing this agenda?
I withdraw my question, Mr. Mayor. So,
Well,
But I
hold on,
just-
Mr.
I just-
McCoy.
Mayor,
Hold
I
on,
withdraw
hold on, everybody. He withdrew his
Because at the end of the
question. Mayor, hold on 1 minute. He withdrew his question, And the mayor had a question,
Right.
so he's
Because I don't want
asking
to
his
continue this
question.
agenda where down the line it's going to come back to bite us. So did he have a point?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I do not know whether or not he has a point.
Okay.
The thing of it is this, during my tenure, I have never heard of this to come up. The way the agenda is set up is the way the agenda has always been set up when it came down to the election process, the end of the election process.
Okay, let me ask this question. Could the city manager or the city attorney ask, because I'm gonna tell you something, I don't want to go down this road and Councilman McCoy has an issue and it's going to come back to bite this council. So before it continues to go on, should we continue this meeting?
Madam Chair,
Hold on, Mr. McCoy.
Madam Chair, if I may,
Go ahead.
with respect to the remarks that Councilperson McCoy made, I think procedurally, that those items should have been as part of the agenda that was adopted. So the adoption of the agenda should have been contemplated as the first official action, and then you would look to handle those particular issues.
this is,
Hold on, Mr. McCoy, hold on 1 minute. Finish up, Mr. Evans?
So, you know, if it is the board's pleasure to effectively adopt the agenda, my recommendation would be that those items that were discussed previous are either an item that is looked to be added on the agenda or something that is carried forward at your next regular meeting. But the city attorney also has some comments as well.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
I can assist. You can cure that. You can go back, you can adopt the agenda to include item number 1, A through E. And then you vote on it, and you can fix it, and you can continue with your meeting. In the future, and probably before,
I'm going to reserve.
Hold on 1 minute, Mr.
I
McCoy.
reserve, Madam Chair.
Hold on.
I see other members grabbing their microphone, and I
I
will
can-
reserve.
I can work with the clerk to develop something that will be used from here on out that will cure this problem and satisfy you. We probably will have 2 agendas, one dealing with the oath of office and the election and all that, and then you adjourn like you did. You took your recess and come back and you adopt the new agenda for your regular business.
I reserve.
Mr. McCoy?
Thank you. And I'm going to be frank. Let me take off my glasses. Ms. Nguyen, I want to see your face. Ms. Nguyen, my name is Trodrick McCoy. I'm from the 1st District of Riviera Beach, a council member. Did I not bring this up to you prior to the meeting starting?
We discussed this issue.
Did I bring this up,
Yes.
yes or no?
Yes.
Ms. Anthony, can you remind me how long you've been working here at the organization?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
as previously stated, I've been with the city of Riviera Beach for 32 years.
Well, you might as well get used to McCoy because you got me for 3 more years, and I don't play. I'm very serious. And I'm telling you, this is very disappointing and embarrassing that we get into a meeting, we have all of these votes, nomination for chair and vice chair, and a 32-year employee can't even seem to get it right, even as being the city clerk for 6 years. And I don't care what I'm like Dr. King. I'm not concerned with what's going to happen to me next. You know, you guys sit here and play politics with certain members already deciding who they want to elect as chair and vice chair. But let me tell you something. Not only are we bound by our charter and the code of ordinances, there's something called ethics for public officers. And clearly, there has been some unethical things that have occurred already thus far in this meeting. And Mr. Evans, you should be embarrassed to have employees that will present an agenda when specifically we were shut down from even saying anything in a special meeting we called without the agenda being adopted. Now, you're going to take public comments, you're going to have votes on items that agenda is not even discussed. And I mean, obviously, I would agree that we can cure it, but like, here we go again, right? And I take this back to, I defer my personal comments, but I take this back to what happened in 2019. It would seem that we've gotten past that point. In fact, we get even deeper into violating Chapter 286 of the Florida statutes when it comes to government in the sunshine. that you have to have a formally adopted agenda before you do any business. And I would have thought that the clerk that says she's been here 32 years and 6 years as a city clerk would have taken care of this, or even more so that the attorney would have taken care of this. Let me remind everybody, we just got put on notice on Monday that we was faced with a lawsuit.
Mr. McCoy,
can I finish my comment?
But Mr. McCoy, can we just
No.
stick to this issue
But procedurally, everything has went wrong up until this point. And if you will allow me to explain, I think I'll bring it in for a landing, Madam Chair, respectfully.
Okay.
And I specifically read the agenda, had agenda review with administration, and then went back to the attorney to ask for clarification.
Okay.
And we still got it wrong.
All right.
You know, it's like, what do we do? Are we going to start off the next 3 years of this term like this? I mean, I would hope somebody besides McCoy has a backbone in this organization, because I'm not here. My salary is only, let me remind you, $19,000 a year. I'm only here because I love it, but I expect to do the right thing, and you can know that I'm going to follow the rules. And I'm very much embarrassed, Mr. Jonathan Evans, that you have a department head that doesn't even know the rules. I yield back.
Thank you, Mr. McCoy. All right, so Ms. Nguyen, with that, at this point, what are you suggesting that we do?
That you make a motion to adopt the agenda to include item number 1.
Motion to adopt the agenda to include item number 1.
Second.
Including all of the A through E?
Yes.
All right. All right, so are there any disclosures by council? We did that, adoption of the agenda. Do we have a motion?
So move.
That was your motion, Ms. Dr. Botel and Ms. Lanier?
My second.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right, Madam Chair, Madam Clerk.
Councilperson Botel?
You're voting to adopt the agenda. Botel?
Yes.
Councilperson McCoy?
Yes.
Councilperson Lawson?
Yes.
Pro Tem Lanier?
Yes.
Chair Millie Anderson?
Yes.
Motion approved.
We don't have anything for consent. I'm sorry, we do have 4. All matters listed under this item are considered to be routine, and action will be taken by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a councilperson so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Do we have any public comment cards?
Madam Chair, members of the board, there are no public comment cards on the consent agenda. The acceptance of public comment cards on the consent agenda is now closed.
All right. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilperson Lawson?
Yes.
Councilperson Botel?
Yes.
Councilperson McCoy?
Yes.
Pro Tem Lanier?
Yes.
Chair Millie Anderson?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Item number 6.
Madam Chair, before
Yes.
we go to item number 6, I move we adjourn.
All right, do we have a second? All right, so it dies for lack of a second. Item number 6.
Proclamation from the Office of the Mayor, City of Riviera Beach, Palm Beach County, Florida, declaring the month of April as Florida's Water Conservation Month.
All right, Mr. Mayor.
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
before we do the proclamations,
Yeah.
we do,
Huh?
we have a presentation for
Well-
Attorney Busby. Could we do that
well-
first?
Hold on, Mr. McCoy. Say what now?
Could we do her presentation for Attorney Busby first before I do the proclamations?
Madam Chair,
Because she
Is
has-
it on here?
It's not on here.
well, Madam Chair,
Hold on, Mr. McCoy, please.
It's not on here, but we kind of discussed it she's leaving the agency, and we just want to give her something before she leaves.
Okay, so we're adding this to the agenda as what letter? 6C and take it in the front?
Madam Chair,
Mr. McCoy?
so since we've already gotten things wrong,
Mm-hmm.
it was my idea that since we abandoned, let's go ahead and say that word, abandoned the section of the agenda that allowed for city council and mayor comments right
Mm-hmm.
after, I think it's 1E.
Yes.
Since we've abandoned that,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that it was
deliberate, but we abandoned
No, it
that?
wasn't deliberate. I think we kind of got caught up in a whole lot of other
Right,
stuff and
but
got
that-
thrown off.
Because we abandoned that, I assumed that we weren't going to do any business. That's why I offered the motion to adjourn.
Okay, well,
But
we can go back
if
to
you're going to take
1E.
up,
We
pardon
can
me?
go back to 1E.
Okay, so if we're back on 1E, what the Honorable Mayor was suggesting, I wanted to take that opportunity to give my comments and, oblige the mayor on his presentation.
Okay. All right, we can certainly do that. We'll back up to 1E. But are you okay with him going ahead and doing this for her so that she could
Yeah,
leave
I'm gonna
first
call
and
him
then
up,
come
too.
back to the mayor and the council?
Just
Sure.
going to Councilman
Okay.
McCoy.
Thank you.
Yes, we're good.
All right, thank you. Come on up, Ms. Busby.
Good?
Yeah. Thank you.
Madam Chair, if you don't mind,
Go ahead.
I don't want this to be completely my comments, but I did ask the mayor if he would be so kind to help me in doing this. So members, the Honorable Mayor, thank you for allowing me to take a portion of my opportunity to make comments and really honor a good friend of mine, Miss Lina Busby, who I only met. Is your husband here? He's not? So I did have to call your husband and make sure that it was okay that I gave you flowers because I don't want him looking for me. But I think he knows and recognizes that you are really a great asset to this organization after meeting you, again, under not the best circumstances when I was a litigant against the city. You've been nothing but professional, and I've had the opportunity to work with you as a member of the Planning and Zoning Board. And let me tell you, you definitely have been probably the most important person to me in this organization, especially because of, and no point intended, Mr. Evans and Ms. Winnan, which I don't think that they would believe that, but you are the tenured member of administration, meaning, you've kind of shared some information that's historical, that's unique to certainly you, and I wanted to make sure that I publicly gave you these arrangements because you mean so much to me, and I thank you for what you've done for the organization, and you're going to be greatly missed. In fact, the next day I missed you right after you left, and I think I reminded you on Monday that we missed you because you've done a lot for this organization. If I would have remembered, I would have made sure that I would have invited every member of the Planning and Zoning Board because you've been a great help to them as well. So I want to give you this arrangement and another a gift that you can take. Everything is underneath $100, so don't worry about the gift reporting limit. And I did ask the mayor because since I've been on the board, which is the same time the mayor has, I've not seen the mayor extend this specific award to anyone at the organization, and who better to do this and be the recipient of the first since I've been here is Ms. Lina Busby. So I'm going to give you the flowers, and I'm going to come back after the mayor, but I'm going to give you these flowers, but not really. I think what's more important is what's coming next, all right? So thank you so much, Ms. Busby. I need a hug right now. Joe, I wish you would not have told her, or she wouldn't have read your phone, but she knew something was happening today.
You sound like a Baptist preacher. Get on the mic. And also, we wanted to invite Attorney Wynn, who you work with. You want to give some more?
You know what that is, right? Yeah. What is that?
So,
take off the soap things.
presented to Lina Busby for your years of outstanding dedication to the city of Riviera Beach. in the community, in this community, April 6, 2022, Mayor Ronnie Felder.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you so much, Mayor. Thank you, Councilperson.
Thank you.
Bye, Ms. Busby.
You have to say something.
Yes. Chair, may I?
Yes.
I want to say how grateful I am to this city and to the constituents and to this board to allow me to represent you all and to entrust me with your litigation and many of your legal issues. I'm very honored and I'm very humbled and just very grateful to you all. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Busby. And I just had the manager to remind me of the charter provisions that we cannot interfere with any employee that reports to the manager. And because you did not report to the manager, I'm going to ask the city attorney. I hope this key to the city means she always has an open invitation if she ever decides to come back. So thank you so much, because certainly I miss you already, and I know the members of the Planning and Zoning Board miss you, and you've been such a great help to me for the last 7 years. Thank you again, okay? Thank you. Appreciate it. No, these aren't your flowers. I know somebody that's having a funeral this weekend, and I'm just kidding.
He's good for giving funerals, flowers to people. Ms. Busby, I wanted to say, I think we kind of came on around the same time. So both of us have been here with the city for just about the same amount of time, and I certainly have seen you grow the time that you've been here, and it's been such a pleasure to be here with you. So I wish you the very best in your future endeavors.
Madam
Thank
Chair.
you so much, Chair.
You're welcome.
Madam Chair, I've already expressed my sentiments to Lina privately, and she knows that there are many, many, many people on Singer Island and of course on the mainland too, who so greatly appreciate your efforts to protect the lagoon from dangers, put it that way. So at some point we'll be celebrating privately, but thank you so much for your help with that. Thanks.
Don't move. Ms. Bubsy, thank you. You've been an amazing asset to this organization. Your spirit and your heart have just been awesome. Every time I've interacted with you, you've honestly given me a sense of pride in the city of Riviera Beach. And I'm honored to have served with you, to have worked with you, and I commend you on your future endeavors, and hopefully that key will bring you back one day.
Thank you, Councilperson.
Madam Chair,
Yes. Who was that?
Lina. Sorry. You know, we started out as colleagues and became friends. I wish you the absolute best. You know how much we miss you. You may not know how much, but we miss you tremendously. And but we know you had to move on, and we wish you the absolute best in your future endeavors. Take care of yourself.
Thank you again, Ms. Busby. You were a diligent professional. Thank you very much for your service.
Thank you very much, Councilperson.
Not so fast, Ms. Busby. Not so fast. Certainly wish you nothing but the best. You've been a phenomenal member of the team. For those of us that work in close...
Thank you all. Thank you.
All right, so we're back to 1E, Mayor, and then we'll come back to you, okay?
Yes.
All right, so we'll start down. We could start with the mayor. Comments for 1E. Do you have any comments or remarks?
No comments. Well, one comment. I just want to thank all my supporters that came out 2 times to vote for me. I just appreciate you guys. It's an honor and a privilege that I get to serve, and that's my heart, is I get to serve. And so just a kudos out to my supporters. And 3 more years, let's get some stuff done. Thank you.
All right. Chair Pro Tem Lanier. Chair Pro Tem.
Oh, yes. Thank you guys so much. I'd like to thank the residents, the citizens of Riviera Beach for placing me back in District 3. I am sure that we will be able to accomplish all the things that we want to see in this city. And just thank you to the voters. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. I'll come back to you, Dr. Botel. Councilman McCoy?
Oh, why me? I'll go for it, but I was going to give you the Sermon on the Mount. This is going to take a little bit longer than most, so you want me to go now?
You might have 2 bites. You'll probably have 2 bites at the apple. This one is for right after the swearing in. So,
okay,
are you able to break it up?
Sure.
All right.
You know, this was so funny, and members of the board and the mayor and administration, pardon me for my tardiness, but I literally could not leave out of the door of my home because of the severe tornado warning that we had gotten. And it was so ironic that I've been listening to Dr. King all week, right? Well, probably not all week. If you know me, I probably listen to him a lot more than all week. I listen to him pretty regularly. But it took me back to the mountaintop speech where Dr. King gave praises and blessings to Reverend Ralph Abernathy for giving her a nice introduction. And he went on to say, he said, first of all, I'm delighted to be here, despite of the thunderstorm and warnings that were said today. And I was sitting, waiting on my ride here to the poll because you guys know I get followed by employees, disgruntled members of the community. So I was waiting on my ride, and I literally was thinking about the mountaintop speech that Dr. King gave on the 4th day of April. I believe it was in 1968, just before his passing in Memphis, Tennessee. And it really brought me back to the purpose of why we're here. And, you know, many people may be confused, don't know Troderick McCoy. I'm not concerned about that. I'm not worried about that. I am who I am, right? Respect me. And that's all I'm going to do with you, disagree, whatever. But Dr. King had a saying that said, the time is always right to do what's right. And that's what I try to do here. You know, if it's not me as a council member, it's me as a member of this community. It's me as a member of the Planning and Zoning Board. I don't know if I'm going to go back there. Certainly, we know things happen in the season, but I'm certainly delighted. But I'm not concerned about anything else that have happened in the past. You know, I'm pressing toward the mark of the higher calling. I'm looking forward to moving forward. There was a lot of things that I wanted to say about how grateful I am. I'm going to try to hit on just a couple because I know we have some other business. And I even know that there is a dissident that I've seen specifically on city surveillance cameras still in my signs. I ain't even worried about that right now because the Bible says who God appoints is ordained by God. You can roll your eyes, sister on the front row. It is what it is. Let me tell you something. What God has for you is for you. To the brother with the pretty tight suit that sits in the back that has stuff to say about my family, I think my family, probably not even a 10th of my family showed up today. But my family loves me. And quite frankly, it's not blood that makes you related, it's love. You hear me? So I'm not concerned about I'm not worried about any man. I don't know if I've seen the glory of coming to the Lord, but, you know, it's my expectation to get there. And like Dr. King, longevity has its place. And that's me being on this city council or me being somebody in this community. I'm not interested in whether you like me. Just extend me the opportunity and the professional courtesy to understand that Troderick is going to be Troderick. And I know this is a very tough time because 3 years ago I had my mom here, and she's not. We were actually in the reverse
direction. And my son and my brother, who clearly they don't got time for this bureaucracy because they know a lot of this is unwarranted and people can be pretty vicious. Hell, I seen my dad. I don't think he's even here, but you know, I'm okay with that. I know they love me. I know they respect me. I know they appreciate it. I know that they can call on Trodrick when they need something, you know, and that's why I serve, because I serve people who otherwise wouldn't have an opportunity to know what government does or how things happen in this community. And even though I have my grandmother who's only, 45? That's interesting that I'm 38 and she's 45, that's here with me today, and she even told me, this was the funniest thing, she told me, I think this week she reminded me, actually it was on Saturday, she reminded me, did you see what Denzel Washington said to Will Smith about when you're at your highest moment, that's when the devil comes? I was like, hey, there's some people leaving, go and leave.
Please,
but
the
quite
audience,
frankly,
please.
here's what I would say to that, right? I'm not going to concern myself with that, because if you know Trodrick McCoy, I'm no Chris Rock. So don't think you're going to handle me and I don't clap back. You hear me? And I'm going to be honest. It's, you know I know I got some really interesting videos out there. I stand by it. Go on and woosah and do all of that. Count to 10, but I'm an elected member of this body. In fact, I checked the results. I had more votes than anybody. So you can get mad all you want. You can say what you want. I'm going to say my piece. But the God understood, she got me for 3 years. And to the gentleman that says he's going to recall me, you better read this Florida statutes, brother. Because I'm going to be here to stay, bro. And I don't go out without a fight. And, you know, here's what drives me, right? I had folks, take a exhale, do all what you want. You can walk out the building, count to 10. But I'm going to say God honest truth.
Mr. McCoy, just
Ma'am, this is my comment.
Just do your
Congress
comments,
should make
please.
no law abridging free speech. If you allow them to say what they're going to say,
And I'm
Madam
not.
Chair,
I will not.
Well,
So I'm trying to
do we
make
have
sure
a
that we
police
have it the
officer?
same way, okay?
well, okay, well, you can do what you got to do, but I'm going to say what I want to say, irrespective of whether you agree.
I'm not trying
because
to
I
stop
cleared
you.
with the attorney's office that there's not too much unless a person alleged fire inside of a crowded movie theater that's not protected speech.
I'm
So
just trying to
please
keep
allow
the
me to finish
interaction-
uninterrupted if you don't mind.
I just want to keep the interaction down from the
Well,
audience.
okay, well, I'm
That's
going to
it.
finish if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'm fine.
You kind of threw me off,
I'm
Madam
sorry.
Chair. But, you know, quite frankly, I'm not concerned about any of that. Here's what you do. Run for office. You don't like me, run for office. You don't like me, don't vote against me. But so long as I got one more person that's for me than against me. And that's all I got. So you can dislike me. You may want me on the outside. I don't know that that helps you. I think I'm more vicious and more non-concerning when I'm on the outside. I just want to do the right thing, right? Whether you like it or dislike it. I spent a lot of time in this organization, and it really shocked me, more importantly, to see even my professional colleagues who I had held in high regard to reduce themselves to the place that they did in this past election with personal attacks. My mom died January 21st, 2021. To hear people get up and say comments about family members that's deceased or your children, I mean, that kind of cuts. But, I mean, it's politics. It's Riviera Beach. What can you expect? Whom much is given, much is required. Dr. King said a man can't ride your back if it's standing up, only if it's bent. So I'm going to say this to the members of the public. I'm standing up. I'm saying this to the members of this board. And you know what's interesting, right? You probably don't understand why Trodrick says this. I had a member from the Palm Beach Post says we get more information. Listen to this. We get more from members of your own board. It is like the Last Supper when Jesus sat down with his 12 disciples and asked them, one of you will betray me. Is it I? That's the same analogy that the Palm Beach Post gave me about the same members that we sit up here at the table. So if we have that kind of discourse and people with backstabbing and ulterior motives about what really happens in the city, and I really believe that we want the best for this organization. I think we probably disagree somewhere on how we get there, but for all intents and purposes, I want to believe that we all have the best intentions at heart. I've never spent any of my time going out of my way to try to do any harm to any member on my board. even though Shirley Lanier's husband is on video stealing my signs. And, you know, like, this is absolutely ridiculous. Now, she can say that she doesn't know or didn't have anything to do with it, but that hurts, that cuts, because I had a lady said, I only have a $25 check between me and my husband, and I'll give you that. And I told her I didn't want her money because she was on a fixed income. And that really hurted me to see people reduce themselves to that level. And we're talking about representing the members of the public. If you want it that bad, sister, or you want it that bad, my brother that's sitting on the second row with your Jamaican shirt and your gray pullover, you can have my signs. But trust me, go and leave. Go and leave.
Mr.
Yeah, catch
McCoy,
me.
Mr. McCoy, please don't
I'm
engage
sorry, I did
the
not
public.
commit a crime, but
Do not engage the public, please.
Officer Charisma,
Mr. McCoy, are
Officer
you
Nance.
going to finish up with your comments, Mr. McCoy, so that we can move on?
no, I'm not moving on. Now, if you think
Can you
there's
finish your
something
comments, Mr.
in
McCoy?
violation of the rules that I just committed, then I
We're
would
trying not to
insist-
have a interaction
Okay,
with the
but ma'am,
public.
this is my opportunity to address whatever it is I want to address. Are you saying I can't do that?
Well, we don't want to have any interaction with the public.
Okay,
You can make your comments, but we're trying to limit the interaction with the public.
well,
Are you fit?
well,
Excuse me, where are the officers? Because we got too much talking in the, where are they?
let me know when I can finish.
Go ahead, Mr. McCoy.
Okay, well, I'm going to bring it in for a lady, but don't think, because I work hard to be here, don't think that I'm going to sit here and ignore that. But, you know, a part of that conversation that my grandmother said, I didn't even want to hear it all, and I'm going to bring this in for a landing, because she probably would use the saying of Michelle Obama, when they go low, you go high. Goddamn, in Riviera Beach, I just haven't found the road high enough to go. So if you come with me with some craziness, you better know that Trodrick McCoy from Riviera Beach is going to clap back. So those are my comments. I appreciate the people that support me. And there are going to be those, and inevitably, there are going to be people that don't support you, and I'm okay with that. I'm not concerned with that. I just want to do God's will. And I've been to the mountaintop. That's all I got.
Thank you. Mr. Lawson.
Yeah, he can't come back. What you got?
I had a whole speech and the written out speech I was going to read, take my time with. I mean, what am I going to say after that? What? Residents, supporters, people that came out tonight, this is the comments in reference to people that supported Councilman Douglas Lawson, District 5 on March 8th. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, because honestly, I worked hard to serve this community for these last 3 years. And at times it gets very trying and wearing to not believe that residents, individuals, and people from the community see the work and effort that we're putting in. So to be one of the only elected officials in the history of Riviera Beach to win this election on March 8th without a runoff against two other individuals gave me honor, praise, and all the praying hands that were over me just kind of gave me comfort to understand I appreciate you. And thank you, because every single one of you that came out and gave support to me, to my family, over the last 3 years for every situation that we've been on this board, it shows that my work is not in vain. And this just gives me the strength and the opportunity to push even harder for the city of Riviera Beach. I'm humbly going to continue to serve as the elected official for District 5. I'm going to continue to fight for the rights of the residents of this city. And I'm not going to agree or be passive with anything. I'm going to make sure that we challenge the status quo. I'm going to ask the tough questions, and I'm going to hold my colleagues and my staff accountable, because that is why each one of you elected me. So that is what I'm going to do on this board, and that's what I'm going to continue to serve. So one thing I can say is that Palm Beach Post didn't get it right with me. I work very well with my city manager. We have a great conversation. We have great dialogue and discussion, and we don't agree on everything. But as both being black, intelligent brothers in this community that are going to serve this community, we don't have to. We understand we don't have to do that. So to that point, to my colleagues on this board, I'm going to ask for us just to be amicable, respectful, and move forward for the dignity and decency of the city of Riviera Beach. We're going to continue to tell our own story, and we're going to lead by example. So what I'm going to do is we're not going to continue to have the disrespect. We're not going to have the disdain from individuals from this board. We're going to have a approach of being respectful and having the dignity of serving as elected officials. Because if we're going to represent the people that voted us in here, that is what you expect of us, and that's what we're going to continue to do. I want to thank my family for always being here and being a support. And I want to tell you how much I care about what you've done for me these last years of serving, because honestly, this has been the most trying time of my life. But I'm going to continue to move forward. I'm going to continue to push, and I'm going to continue to serve this community of Riviera Beach. So thank you to everyone that elected me back into office for District 5. I will serve honorably and humbly for the next 3 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Botel?
I really don't have too much to say. I wanted to thank the voters for coming out in both the March 8th and the March 22nd elections. It's so important that people in the community come out to vote and make their feelings known at the polls. I think it's unfortunate that not enough people come out to vote, and so I hope that we can maybe do some voter registration drives and get more people to the polls the next time the election comes around. But thanks to everybody who did come out. Appreciate it.
Excuse me, ma'am. We're going down the agenda. This is not the end of the meeting. We still have business to do. I want to say congratulations to all of you that made it back up to the dais. And again, just reiterating what Dr. Botel stated in terms of people coming out to vote. I've always said for everyone to make sure they stay engaged and to hold your council people and your mayor accountable. That has not changed. And, you know, it is my hope, you know, Mr. Lawson, what you just stated about everyone being able to work together. It definitely is my desire that we try to continue to do the good works that we have been doing. And I know that we can do it. It's just how we get there, as Mr. McCoy stated. You know, the past election, you know, brought about a lot of different things that occurred on many different sides. And it is my desire to see us work together. If there's issues outside of that, let it be outside. But when we're here, if we could come together and work for this business of the city. Many people that know me, I'm not one to get in drama. I'm not one to cause drama. I will ignore it and I will move on, because there are greater things in this world to worry about. I've been elected for 7 years now, and believe me, there's a lot that goes on, and if you allow it to pull you down, it will. If you allow it to cause you stress, it will. But I understand that there is a life outside of the city council, and you cannot let it beat you down like that. For the part about being a public servant, it's great when it's great, when you're helping people, when you're doing things for your community. But then there's the ugly side to it. And I know that all of us up here have dealt with that. And it's not a good feeling, but you have to have tough skin. And if you don't, this is certainly not the place to be. But I certainly appreciate everyone who has supported me along the way. I also appreciate my colleagues. And, you know, I just look forward to us being able to work together to continue the good works that we have been doing. Let's not forget what we've already started, and we can continue that. That's really all I have to say. I mean, I didn't have an election, so I don't need to really go have a long dialogue. But I appreciate everyone that's out there. All right, Mayor, we're up to your 6A. I think you're already ready. You want to read the title again since it's been a while?
Madam Chair, members of the board, the time is now 8:19.
Okay. All right. So we'll do our public comments. Please be reminded that the City Council has adopted rules of decorum, public conduct during official meetings, which have been posted at the front desk. In an effort to preserve order, if any of the rules are not adhered to, the council chair may have any disruptive speaker or attendee removed from the podium, from the meeting, and/or the building if necessary. Please govern yourselves accordingly. Madam Clerk?
Madam Chair, members of the board, the acceptance of public comment cards is now closed. Danielle Underwood, Delcia Hamilton, Cindy March.
Good evening, council people.
Good evening.
I had something prepared for tonight, but after all this stuff I just witnessed, it's crazy. I go to a lot of different government board meetings, and I've never seen anything like this. I think you all really need to put yourselves in check and figure out how to get along and forget about the east and the west side of Riviera Beach and come together and show each other some love, because that was some embarrassment right there. I was here nearly a month or so ago after filing a formal complaint on an incident with our Riviera Beach Police Department, and I'm here to express my frustration on the process. The process is not victim-friendly, nor does it even recognize the victim. And as a victim, I have not had any of my emails to the city manager's office or any people, including the city manager himself, to answer me. While I have spoke to some on this board, and I thank you to the 3 that I have spoke to at the end there, these 2 ladies have refused to even answer anything I've sent to them. We're here to work for the constituents, for the people. So I'm hoping that what you were sworn in to do tonight, you will continue to uphold to and respond to the constituents. I would like to know what the process of an investigation and a complaint is, how it works, how I as the victim would be notified about this process, who's going to keep me in the loop, and what avenues does it go through? Since the chief has resigned, he is not now involved in the process, but since he was a part of the complaint, he should still be a part of the investigation, which means now he has resigned while under investigation. Does that mean that you have reported it to FVLE by the department that he resigned while under an internal affairs investigation? Will he still be interviewed and investigated, or does his resignation get him out of the whole thing? This is all an important part to a fair and legit investigation. All the reports, such as CAD reports, 911 calls, body cam footage, etc., should all be preserved to use to be determined the outcome of the investigation. This means that the staff will have to put this all together. I requested all of these documents and was hit with a fairly large bill of an invoice for these documents. Why should I have to pay for something that the city is going to have to use for their benefit in an investigation? I am the victim, the complainant, and I should be entitled to a copy of all of that information. I've tried to call the city. I've tried to email the city. I have gotten no responses other than Ms. Botel, Mr. McCoy, and Mr. Lawson. It's very disappointing that, city manager, I know you have a tough job and you have a lot on your plate, but you have people underneath you, people that work in that office. Why is nobody responding? Monday, I broke down and took $137 out of my own child's food and mouth to pay for these reports and was promised these reports. I'm sitting on Wednesday night and I do not have them.
Ms. Underwood. Thank you.
Delcia Hamilton, Cindy March, Lloyd Brown.
Good evening, everyone. Congratulations to the new elected officials, Mayor. Here I am again, 8 years later. My name is Delcia Brooks Hamilton. I'm the owner of Pangea Grill, and I am a long-time resident of Palm Beach County. I have been in the hospitality business for over 20 years. I have met all the qualifications that were required as a minority woman business owner. I responded to an RFP back in 2018 that said looking for minority restaurant operator. I met all the qualifications. I was then sent a contract agreement along with a lease agreement. Now, I was told to prepare a business plan, hire my architect, and my master developer. I spent over $20,000 of my own money setting everything up and getting everything ready. My rendering was completed along with my site plan, my architectural drawings, and I was told that there was no parking space. So how can the city put out an RFP without having any parking space for me? So the project was placed on hold until a master developer was selected. Now, I was told by council that I would work with the developer. In 2018, a master developer was selected. Nothing has happened to this point. It is now 2022. I am so frustrated. I made the city aware that I had a master developer that will build a parking garage and the restaurant without the city forking out any money, without the city forking out millions. It's time to build Pangaea Grill, the parking garage, and get this project moving. For the people of Riviera Beach, which is long overdue, they're spending their money elsewhere instead of spending it here in the city. We need to build the community. I am asking for this to be placed on the record. I am frustrated. My developer has the money to build the parking garage, the restaurant, and the whole project. I'm asking for your support. It's been 8 years. I'm still here. I'm not going away. I'm going to fight for what's right. You put out an RFP. I responded to the RFP, and nothing has happened. I have contacted every single one. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep fighting until the city does what's right. I have attended all the workshops. I was here with my hard hat and my boots
Hamilton,
when
thank
the
you.
event center was not even built yet. So
Thank
I'm
you.
not going away, and I know that people are looking for the restaurant.
Cindy March, Lloyd Brown, Mary Brown.
Good evening, councilors.
Good evening.
You know, I'm so glad this election is not over. But one thing I'm going to say, as a not-needed young youth growing up in the city of Riviera Beach, walking across that track, being a cheerleader, being an employee for the Summer Youth Employment Program, my heart hurts for the city of Riviera Beach. We are losing our city. Whether it's personal vendettas or whether it's to change the narrative to make you all look successful, the only person hurting in this episode is the residents, the voters who take time to come out and cast their vote. Out of all the campaigns I ran for almost 30 years, my heart bleeds for the city of Riviera Beach. It bleeds for the city of Riviera Beach. If you all don't get away from this title and this temperament about you don't like this person, personal vendettas, we would never move forward. Even if you won, you are a loser. You are a loser to yourself. You're a loser to the voters who gets out and vote. When I tell you I left message upon message on the people that I called, they called me back. I had candid conversations with these voters. And you know what word they use? It's a circus. We don't come to the meeting, but we sit at home. You all are being watched. And pointing fingers is not getting issues done. Evans, I told you, everybody's not for you, and everybody's not against you. But you all got to do better. And it starts from the top. I'm not pointing fingers at you and nobody here because you all need to go down First Street in your vehicle. And you would think something wrong with your vehicle. During the election, as I was campaigning, the train track came down 8 times. That's what you call voter suppression. Because if that person in the line to come to Wells to our main precincts to vote and can't get across, you know what they're going to say? To hell with it, I'm not voting. Come on, we got to do better than this. I have a neighbor. She was sitting right over there. have not even received a mail-in ballot right now today. I got up that morning and took her and her husband to the poll. Who does that? I sit out in the front of the city hall at 6 o'clock that night. A sheriff deputy came in and said that he was told to come pick up a box of ballots from the city hall. Where they do that at? And the security guard told him the precinct is over at Wells. So who sent that sheriff deputy to come pick up a box of ballots?
Thank you, Ms.
Y'all got to do better. Y'all got to.
Lloyd Brown,
Yeah,
Mary Bram,
how
Madeline
you
Irving.
doing? Same
Good
people,
evening.
nothing new, no changes, everything the same. Like, you're gonna do more this year because you didn't do nothing the other 3. So it's like, if I tie my shoe, it ain't got nothing to do with the city. It's like what you doing up here don't have nothing to do with the city. You go in these stores, you see what they got in them. You got women living in these houses that they lease out here, and they got to have a lawnmower. Could you imagine a lady getting out of Stony Brook, and in order to get into a place she needed because she got to go through the county, right? So she's going to take this lease where they say, you got to cut the grass. I think that's on y'all. Y'all shouldn't let a person come in here and rent a house out to a woman, and they on Section 8. And you shouldn't let a gas station right across the street from all these people on Section 8 with gas for $4.59. You shouldn't let a store go through. You talking about the water bill. What about the taxes you supposed to get from these damn stores in the neighborhood? They don't even have receipts, and y'all don't say nothing about it. The mayor, you go in them stores. Y'all two go in them stores. All y'all go in them stores. Ms. Botel probably don't, because she across Singers Island. But you go in these stores and you see all this stuff in these stores, and you don't say nothing about it. I mean, you got to do things that's going to affect people right then. You talking about the future. And then over Singers Island, before they came under that bridge, I'm 68 and April the 27th. I was over there swimming most of my life. You can't even get over there. So on the 4th of July, you're going to have a lot of brothers going over there. They're going to be turned away. And you knew that the county was doing this. You knew it. You didn't say anything about it. I would be standing over there if I was the mayor and say, oh, no, you're going to have to let these people, they pay taxes. I would be in these stores if I was the mayor, council member, whatever. I wouldn't be in there kissing these people, because I already told you one time, the closest I got to kissing somebody behind when I was born, and I ain't crawling back up in nowhere to kiss nobody. That's y'all and all y'all. So you could just forget that. I've been here 67 years and 11 months, and you know what? It'll be 68, like I say, April the 27th. And you know one thing I can say? You didn't do anything them 3 years you've been in here. So if you get in here and do something today, it's always gonna be positive, because if you go like what, 0-1, 0-2, you did 0-0 them 3 years. So if you do 0-1, then you doing good, because you didn't do, I don't want to say the word, you didn't do nothing. And then to get up here and preach, I don't listen to really what Martin Luther King say. I listen to what Malcolm X say. And I'm for my people. And you can hate me for that all you want to. But you people not. I done got more stuff out of Miss Botel, and she white. And that's a shame. Y'all go right in these stores and leave them, and you don't even say nothing about the stuff that's in them.
Thank you.
Mary Bram, Madeline Irving.
Madam Chair, Mr. Evans, can I make a note to you to remind Mr. Lloyd Brown the limits of our scope as elected officials, specifically to the regulation of commerce inside of individual private businesses. Mr. Evans, can you please make a note to address that?
All right, go ahead, Ms. Brown. Ms. Brown, can you? Thank you, Mr. Brown. Go ahead, Ms. Brown.
Ms. Mary Bram, happy Good Friday, happy Easter to all, happy Ramadan, and a happy Passover. May we all remember the past to the present in each one of these celebrations that we will encounter. To the professionals, administrators, you know this is your month for the service that you render. Ms. Bram say, keep up the good work. Rocks gold every day. but only the rocks will crush if we take them and do a sledgehammer with them. So you all keep pressing on. To the chair and co-chair, I would like for each one of you all to read Robert's rules. Read it good. Read it thoroughly in order to be able to govern and move these meetings on here. And that goes for the elected officials too. This conduct from the elected officials is very unprofessional. And you talk about we as residents. You're supposed to be setting examples. You was voted as leaders. So I'm hoping that we can get past this here, but if we cannot, we will constantly have to endure this here childishness, because this is what we're acting like children. What else? Elections have been won by one vote. Just a year ago, down south down there, the commissioner won by one vote. Sabrina Fulton, Trayvon Martin's mother, she ran 2 years ago, 423 votes. She lost. Now, she was Miss Sabrina Fulton, so it does not matter who you are. It's what the voters says and what the voters does. Congratulations to the police chief, Josh Lewis. We will continue to do good. I'm going to share something with you all, and I'm still standing. Miss Bram Hart has been pierced, and her guts have been ripped out. Miss Bram has encountered a horrific, not one, but 2 incidents in this city here. I could have been back like Miss Mary McNeil, but I had angels and prayers of the righteous availeth much. And for being a servant, for you people, not Miss Bram, but for you people, knowing that we are better than all of this. And I say it often, and I will continue to say it. We are better than all of this. Yes, Miss Bram's life could have been taken, but I'm still standing.
Thank you, Ms. Brown.
I'm standing because I believe in each one of you all.
Thank you, Ms. Brown.
To do better. Thank you.
Madeline Irving.
Is that the last one, or you have more? Okay.
Good evening, board. I hope you can hear me. Well, the person I wanted to address left, so I wish he wouldn't have left. But what's bothering me the most is, Chair Miller Anderson, you're going to have to censor. You cannot allow his frivolous banter to go on. We have business to conduct. And what bothers me the most is that he wants to use God and quote scriptures and talk about Martin Luther King, but his behavior is that of a notorious thug. And then he has a cheering squad. So what bothers me the most is, if we're going to do business and conduct business so we can attract business, we need to censor foolishness. And unfortunately, he doesn't respect himself. That's why he cries on the shoulder. He showed some form of humility when he came and presented something very nice. But his ugliness and his desire to be destructive is going to tear our city down. Him and his cheering squad, as they sit here and say they love the city, it behooves them to change their behavior. Because something where I pay taxes and where I live, I want where I live to be respected. And this person, Mr. Trodrick McCoy, District 1, does not respect decorum of government. And I ask that you got to shut it down. We cannot continue on this because he wants his ego to be stroked. And he wants his, oh, I don't bend over. I can't tell. He's way low. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Evans, can you respond to some of the comments or questions that you may have answers for?
Yes, Madam Chair. With respect to the item that the speaker spoke about the Riviera Beach Police Department, I believe Chief Lewis is working on that particular item. but that was an item that I informed the previous chief to take a look at, and I believe it's been provided to the internal affairs captain to take a look at, but the chief can provide some additional perspective on that with the individual that shared some remarks during public comments. On the solicitation and the discussion about the Pangea Grill, the board knows that we have been directed by the board to proceed forward with the negotiations with respect to the Marina Phase 2. As a result of the solicitation document and the direction that's been provided to the board, we're not at liberty to directly negotiate with any restaurateur or vendor, because that is in the arrangement, that would be the responsibility of the developer. So our authority or our abilities are limited. If that was something that the developer and the individual that spoke was interested in, that would be something that they conceivably would have to work out as part of the Phase 2. But that item will be coming before you all for discussion at the April, I believe, 27th meeting of the CRA, as we're still working through some nuances associated with the agreement. With respect to the stores, the city of Riviera Beach is very limited on what it can do related to commerce and how commerce are conducted. The state really preempts local government's abilities, especially when you're talking about business operations. If there are inappropriate or illegal activities that are occurring at these facilities, absolutely, there's some things that we can do from a law enforcement perspective. And so I will ask that the chief have a discussion with Mr. Brown to find out exactly what those issues are and see if that's something that we can look at. But from a regulatory and a compliance standpoint, there is limited things we can do, but we can certainly forward that to the appropriate entities at the state level that have a little bit more power to address some of the concerns that were articulated as part of his public comments. And lastly, the train item and the railroad item, we're still working on that. We're hopeful that we would be able to have a more robust conversation. We've had some discussions with Treasure Coast and looking at the corridor holistically with other municipalities, and then looking at some long-term solutions and costs associated with that with respect to physical infrastructure. So that information is forthcoming. I would think in the next 30 days we should be able to have a more robust conversation and discussion with the board. And that concludes my comments, Madam Chair.
Thank you. All right, Mayor, we're going to try again. 6A.
Proclamation from the Office of the Mayor, City of Riviera Beach, Palm Beach County, Florida, declaring the month of April as Florida Conservation Month. Whereas water is a basic and essential need for every living creature, and whereas the State of Florida Water Management District and the City of Riviera Beach Utility District are working together to increase awareness about the importance of water conservation, and whereas the City of Riviera Beach and the SFWMD have designated April typically a dry month when water demands are most acute, and Florida Water Conservation Month to educate citizens about how to help save Florida's precious water resources. And whereas the City of Riviera Beach has always encouraged and supported water conservation through various educational programs and special events, and whereas every business, industry, school, and citizens can make a difference by conserving water. Whereas every business, industry, and citizen can help by saving water and thus promote a healthy economy and community. Now, therefore, it being finally resolved by I, Ronnie L. Felder, Mayor of the City of Riviera Beach in Palm Beach County, Florida, by the power vested in me by the residents of the City of Riviera Beach, do hereby proclaim the month of April as Florida Water Conservation Month. Proclamation from the Office of the Mayor, City of Riviera Beach, Palm Beach County, Florida, declaring the month of April as Sexually Transmitted Disease Awareness Month. Whereas sexually transmitted disease, STD, is a major public health issue, with many who become infected unaware of their diagnosis unless accurately diagnosed through testing, and whereas Palm Beach County ranks 6th in new HIV syphilis and diagnosis and 7th in gonorrhea cases of the state of Florida in 2020, posing increased public health challenges in our community. And whereas according to the Palm Beach County Health Department and local STD rates in Palm Beach County have consistently over 8,000 new cases each year since 2018, whereas STD is preventable through early detection, treatment, and education. And whereas health services in partnership with the Palm Beach County Health Department takes the opportunity during Sexually Transmitted Disease Awareness Month to raise public awareness about the impact of STD in our communities and promote the importance of preventing, testing, and treating STD. Now, therefore, be it finally resolved by I, Ronnie L. Feld, the city mayor of the city of Riviera Beach and Palm Beach County, Florida, by the power invested in me by the residents of Riviera Beach, do hereby claim the month of April as Sexually Transmitted Disease Awareness Month. And witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the official seal of the city of Riviera Beach to be fixed on the 6th day of April 2022 AD.
All right, and so that was 6B. He did 6A and 6B together. Thank you. All right. Regular agenda, item number 11, resolution on regular agenda. Go ahead.
Resolution number 48-22, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Riviera Beach, Palm Beach County, Florida, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute a memorandum of understanding between the City of Riviera Beach and Palm Beach County for the recreational and educational use of leased area of Peanut Island and provide an effective date. Madam Chair, members of the board, we do have public comment on this item. The acceptance of public comment on this item is now closed.
Motion to approve resolution numbers 48-22.
Second.
All right, Mr. Evans.
Madam Chair and members of the board, this item is seeking City Council authorization to enter into a memorandum of understanding with a couple of entities, Palm Beach County, the Port of Palm Beach, the Town of Palm Beach, and Palm Beach Shores, and the City of Riviera Beach related to the operation and activities over at Peanut Island. We know that there has been exhaustive conversations about Peanut Island, and this was an agreement that was structured that will allow for all the municipalities to have a stake in the conversations and discussions and ultimately the operational activities that would occur on Peanut Island. As contemplated in the document that is attached to the agenda, it talks about that the historical facilities will be renovated. There will be a low density and low intensity gift shop on the site, and that there will be weekend activities, and that the facility will be open for a minimum of 4 days to talk about history, environmental conservation, and really speak to ecotourism. So staff is recommending approval of resolution 48-22 and then providing it to our partners, and then we are effectively the last city or municipality to execute it, and then it will go before the county. So staff has worked with representatives from all entities to get to this point, and I'm prepared to answer any questions the board may have.
Okay, we'll go to public comment and come back to the board.
Mary Bram.
It's Mayor Bram, Riviera Beach. I'm glad that we are establishing this partnership with Peanut Island. I know we as a city, we wanted to foresee how could we incorporate Peanut Island as far as on the city side. But when we actually look at this and really see exactly the different entities that will come together to establish that partnership, because we are building up, this corridor will be built up. That's Ms. Bram's vision, and I know it will happen because I believe and I have faith that this will happen. And when all of this is done, because we're in the process of moving those parts now, Peanut Island will become a vast tourist destination here, not just for Riviera Beach, but the port, but all over the county. Because why? We have a beach here. We have the marina here. We have all of these vast resource entities that any big city and state just clamors for. So this partnership that's being established here, this will be great. This will be great for our city as a whole, because they would come from far and near, just like they are beginning to do now, move into our city here. We are no longer here, a certain part of us are this. We have an influx here of different residents, different cultures now, with the build out of Riviera Coves and all of those other condominiums and stuff and homes that we are building here. So this is why it is critical that we govern ourselves and we act professionals and we be professionals in our speaking, in our wording, because words matters. Words matters. That word that you utter out of your mouth, it has great implications. And it tells who you as leaders are, as well as we as residents. If Ms. Bram get out of order, bring Ms. Bram back in check. This is what we do. And it's okay. It's not saying that, you are wrong and they are right. It's no little I's versus the big I's. An I that is dotted is a dot, and you can't take that dot out. So this is, I'm glad to see this here. And I'm glad to know that you as a board, that you will apply your leadership roles. Get in that leadership role now. This is your last year and stuff here. Thank you.
Ms. Brown.
Madam Chair, members of the board, that concludes public comment.
All right, any questions, comments from the board? All right, Madam Clerk.
Councilperson McCoy? Councilperson Botel?
Yes.
Councilperson Lawson?
Yes.
Pro Tem Lanier?
Yes.
Chair Miller Anderson?
Yes.
That motion is approved with Councilperson McCoy.
All right, it says item number 12, items added late. I don't see any, so we'll back up to discussion by the city manager.
Madam Chair, just wanted to congratulate the board on your reelection. Obviously, looking forward to working with you all to move some of the projects and initiatives forward. I think it's important that we establish our footing once again and push forward. We are fortunate to be able to have a situation where there's a calming effect now after the election, and there's not an election for the next couple of years. And so I really think it's incumbent upon us to continue the work that we've set forth with Riviera Beach 2030, Reimagine Riviera Beach, and how do we move from point A to point B. Some of the most challenging discussions and decisions that any elected body will have to make will be placed on the shoulders of this board. And I know that this board is resolute in its commitment to do what's in the best interest of our residents as well as our employees. And so we are committed and we're looking forward to better days. Obviously, we know that staff does not have the market captured on intelligence. We're wrong sometimes, we're right sometimes, but we are committed to doing the work that's necessary to move our community forward. We're a team, and we all accomplish more and are more successful when we work together. And so you have my commitment and you have my staff's commitment that we will sharpen our pencils, we will bring good items, we will have substantive discussions with the board, but we're committed to doing things that the community can be proud of. And I think we have the charge and the responsibility to lead by example. There's a lot of communities that are looking at us. There's a lot of communities that are duplicating and attempting to imitate what we're trying to do. And I know that this board wants to see more cranes in the air, wants to see us address affordable housing, want us to address inflation, want us to address some of the challenges that our residents face day in and day out, as well as our employees. And so we have a lot of items in the agenda that's going to help address some of the concerns that the board has said and the community said, but also looking forward to working with you on your agenda and what are the items that you heard on the campaign trail that are things we can put forth to really move Riviera Beach forward. I still remain committed that Riviera Beach is still the best city in which to live, work, and play, but we have to operate as a family. We have to coalesce behind one another. We have to know that we can disagree, but we can still work together for the betterment of the agency. And I believe that this board is prepared and ready to move forward, and we're excited about what the future holds. So congratulations on your election, and looking forward to moving some of these projects and initiatives that we've talked about out of the ground. So that concludes my comments, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you. City Attorney?
Yes, Madam Chair. I have the announcement of a closed executive session. Pursuant to Florida Statute 286.0118D, Public Meetings and Records, and in a desire to obtain advice concerning litigation, I am requesting a time that the City Council is available for a closed executive session in the matter of City of Riviera Beach versus Lady March Goldwire, appellate case numbers 21-13871 and 21-13872. Outside counsel, along with myself, will seek a closed door session with the council to discuss the update on the 11th Circuit appellate cases and an attorney fee issue. I would like to know if you all are available on the 13th day of April at 6:00 p.m.
I'm available. That's 6 o'clock, when we would normally have the CRA meeting, but we're not having one?
Correct.
Okay.
Next Wednesday.
Yes, that's fine for me. What about the others?
It's fine with me.
What time is it?
6 p.m.?
Okay.
Mr. McCoy, Mr. Lawson?
That's fine, Madam Chair.
13th,
Yes.
6 o'clock?
Normally it's our CRA meeting, but we're not scheduled to have one.
And obviously, I guess it's boilerplate in language as strategy.
I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
The purpose is strategy.
It's litigation strategy to update you all on the 11th Circuit appellate case and to discuss an attorney fee issue.
Okay. I don't have a problem with that, but since if you're going to talk about attorney fees, obviously this is of public importance because these are taxpayer dollars. Can you indulge us on how much we've spent to date on attorney fees, just as it concerned with appellate?
I don't know that right off, no. I wasn't prepared to answer that question.
Well, we've engaged them for how long now, Ms. Nguyen?
I'm sorry?
What did you say?
How long have we engaged the appellate attorneys? Since what month?
I don't
Roughly.
know wherever our last session was, so maybe 3 or 4 months ago, I'm not positive.
Okay, and
I can provide you with that information.
sure, but my question is, outside of that, is the nature of what you're going to bring to us concerning litigation's costs for us as an organization?
No.
Okay, all right. I'll be available. Thank you.
You said you're available?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, therefore, a closed executive session will be held on the 13th day of April, 2022 at 6 p.m. at the Marini Event Center, 190 East 13th Street, Riviera Beach, Florida, 33404, in the case of City of Riviera Beach versus Lady March Goldwire. Appellate case numbers 21-13871 and 21-13872. Those persons in attendance will be City Attorney Dawn Nguyen, Esquire, Appellate Counsel Denise Blue, Esquire, with the law firm of Taylor English and Duma, LLP, Mayor Ronnie Felder, members of the City Council, City Manager Jonathan Evans, and Florida Court Recording.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Repeat the name of that attorney, Taylor. I don't know who that is.
Denise Blue. She was formerly with the firm of Ward Damon, and now she's with Taylor English and Duma.
So is that the nature of the litigation costs that because clearly
No, sir.
I knew she was with Ward Damon. Like, at what point do we know that she's now changed law firm? And we're the client, I might add, but that's pretty pertinent, Ms. Nguyen.
That is not the purpose. The change has nothing to do with the attorney fee issue, and it's been approximately a week since she changed firms.
Okay, so outside of, I'm sorry, have you finished your announcement?
Yes, sir.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
So, I guess an offline subject, I want to talk about what the impacts, if any, because now Denise Blue's with a different firm. Is the rate the same? You know, those kind of things I would like to have a discussion with, because clearly this is the first that I'm hearing. And I'm sure, since we haven't met in a month, I don't know if any other members, you know, is aware of this. And particularly, right, Ward Damon is pretty regionally known for their work in appellate cases, so if she's changing firms, I kind of want to have a discussion about that, and certainly the other members be brought up to date on that.
We can have that discussion.
Thank you, Madam Attorney.
All right, is that it, Ms. Nguyen?
That's all. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right. City Council Committee reports.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
I continue to meet weekly with our internal tourism committee, and today we presented to about 20 members of a larger tourism committee. I wanted to thank Mr. Scott Evans, Chief Curd, and Nicole Rodriguez for attending. I think we're making really good progress. I also wanted to thank Ms. McBride for working diligently on the hiring process for an economic development director. Looking forward to that position being filled. I attended the Palm Beach County League of Cities District 1 lunch meeting today, and I will attend the Education Committee meeting tomorrow and the Government Affairs Committee meeting on Friday.
Thank you. Statements by the mayor and City
I have a
Council.
committee report.
Say it again?
A committee report?
You have one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm actually a member of City Council, but I just so happened to attend the audit committee last week on an emergency special meeting. And let me tell my members what happened. Emergency special meeting means that apparently you would think that there is something of importance that should happen. Well, let me tell you a few things of importance that occurred, and maybe our chairperson, our illustrious former chairperson, can opine on giving us some sort of status, but I arrived at a meeting that didn't have an agenda, but it was emergency in nature. Now, tell me what's the problem with that? When we have an emergency audit committee meeting, but there's no agenda. Literally, the agenda was typed up as we were there. The meeting did not start as advertised. In fact, the meeting was published on Facebook. I received a call and witnessed this from news media outlets about the audit committee meeting and what was such of urgent nature that we had to call an emergency audit meeting. Well, clearly nobody knew. And the nature of the audit committee meeting, after 50 minutes, we got an agenda that said to discuss the audit from 2021, 2020, and 2019, all of which, well, 19 and 20 have been completed. 2021 has not been completed. What we did glean forward that only 2 members showed up, a quorum was not established, nor was there even a purpose of why there was an emergency meeting. Additionally, you had a member specifically make suggestions that he's used specific language of calling black people niggers in the past, and clinks, I believe it was, that was referred to, and I think that certainly should have been reported. And I was shocked simply because the media called me and asked me what exactly would constitute such an emergency, and I think, hell, we may have all gotten copied by email from a member of the public that was offended by those comments. So certainly I asked the manager by email that we add that to tonight's agenda, but for whatever reason, I'm not sure why that wasn't asked. Even more so, if it was of urgent nature, we didn't even have our city finance director there. So what's important about bringing this to the board's attention, I want to make sure that I ask the manager that we bring back those allegations and, if necessary, a due process hearing for that member, but I'm going to ask that he be removed from that position as a member of the audit committee because...
I believe he resigned. We received an email today about his resignation.
Oh, well, I didn't get it. I'm sorry.
Everybody should have gotten. I think we were all on there.
Well, you know, we still have email issues.
Yeah, I know. Yep.
But certainly, I'm going to finish my statement and say I'm going to ask the manager, until I see otherwise, his resignation be placed on, or removal, I should say, be placed on the city council agenda because of the comments made at the audit meeting. So that is my report, even though I'm not a member of the audit committee. Thank you.
All right. Mayor.
No comment, Madam Chair.
All right. Dr. Botel?
Yes, there will be a grand opening of the community center at Azure Estates, formerly known as Stony Brook, on Friday at 1 o'clock. I'm very excited to have people see the wonderful transformation of what had been truly a disgusting property into a beautiful place for residents there to live. The apartments are brand new, all new appliances, new floors, etc. The landscaping, although the grass hasn't been cut yet over there, it's a little high, but I know by Friday afternoon it'll be cut. It'll be looking beautiful. I'm most impressed with the level of security, however. I think they've really stepped up the game over there. When I was there last night around 6:30, I saw the guards checking identification as people were coming in, and they were taking pictures of the driver's licenses, and a couple of people online realized that they were going to be identified as not belonging there, and they turned their cars around and went away. So I'm very happy to say that it's becoming a much, much better place to live. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Mr. Lawson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a couple quick announcements. May 7th at 11 a.m., we'll be hosting at Hearst Chapel an event, a Fitness and Networking Lupus Awareness Edition, that'll be hosted by members of the community. It'll be at Hearst Chapel starting at 11 a.m. on May 7th, so please be in attendance. Information will be following on social media. Also, May 7th at 5 p.m., Sincere 2000 in District 5's office will be hosting Fight Night, Boxing for a Cause. It's going to be bringing awareness to suicide prevention, partnering with Sincere 2000. And last but not least, I just wanted to make comments on the selection of chair. While I'm highly disappointed that I'm not given the opportunity to serve as the chair for these past 3 years, I'm honored that Councilwoman Miller Anderson is going to be serving as the chair. She has shown that she will have a sense of decorum and respect for this community. But one thing that I want to say, Councilwoman Miller Anderson, is that in 2016, when I was looking at old meetings, you did discuss the supporting the natural cycle of chairs and council persons that were elected. So I just wanted to kind of bring that to the light that while I can't really talk about succession planning and continuity in government and consistency in our city, if we don't continue to follow what we preach about supporting the succession planning of chairs and vice chairs and giving opportunities to our electeds and our colleagues. So I want to make sure that we can have some transparency, continuity, and consistency in what we're preaching up here on this dais and be able to serve amicably and respectfully, because if there is anyone that I believe, it is Ms. Miller Anderson that will be able to handle and control this dais in a certain fashion, but at the same time, I believe I'm still equipped to do the exact same. So hopefully I can work harder to represent these residents this next year, and I can also be given an opportunity by my colleagues in the next time that we select a chair to be considered. So I wanted to put that on the record to make sure that everyone is aware that I'm honored to continue to serve this great city, but I also want to make sure that I'm not ever passed over on the amazing work that I'm doing, because a lot of residents, about 2,500 residents, did determine that I was qualified to serve. So thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome. I do want to just make a quick comment. Mr. McCoy, the email actually came from the actual person. It didn't come from Mr. Evans, so you weren't on here, so I apologize. You maybe didn't get the email, at least not from him anyway. All right, Mr. McCoy, you have any comments?
Actually, Madam Chair, please, I want to kind of clarify something, and this literally got lost when we had Shirley Lanier as our chairperson. Madam Chair, I'd like to point your attention to this agenda. At the top of the agenda, it says City Council regular meeting. And this is just a teachable moment for everyone. Do you ever recall me, Councilwoman Miller Anderson, chairperson, calling you on your cell phone to talk about city business?
Say it again?
Do you ever recall me calling you on your cell phone to talk about city business?
No.
And do you know why that is?
Because I don't violate sunshine.
We're specifically prohibited from discussing city business outside of this meeting. And the point that I'm making, Chairperson, is that this is the only time the 5 electeds, including the mayor, can discuss city business. And I would like to remind you, this is not the public's meeting, this is the city council's meeting. The public is allowed to participate, but I thought it was totally disingenuous to spend the last year under a chairperson that doesn't even know the fundamental rules that this is a city council meeting. This is the only time that a council member can bring their concerns to the board. And I'm going to ask that we continue in that spirit of Chapter 286 in open government and making sure that despite whatever differences we may have of opinion, that this is about the council board members that was elected, that took an oath of office, that was duly elected by the people to be able to discuss the city's business. And that didn't happen. In fact, so much so, people who completely had no respect or support for me in the past got up at the meeting and said, it's a shame that you can't even speak when this is not a public meeting, a city council meeting where the public is allowed to participate. So I'm very much happy to have you as the chairperson, because I've got to say you've been nothing but fair, at least in 2019 when we came to the city council as new members, and I would really like to see that continuing going forward, because we, as members, no one member is more important than the other. And for some reason, this whole idea of being elected chair and vice chair seems to I guess, get people motivated to have some sort of authority that they don't have. But thank you for that, current chair member, Miller Anderson. I said that to say a couple other things. Particularly, it gotten to the point where I've already been under subpoena and request from the Office of Inspector General, because I tried to introduce items that I knew specifically violated the city's code of ordinances. And I'll bring you back to the specific item where we were asked to accept $45,000 in lieu of following the code. If the code says that's the rule, that we have to have landscaping in general industrial, I'm not going to compromise the rule. I was completely shut down. Even more so that when we have employees that decide to leave the organization because current members of the city council don't have a problem with breaking the rules, that should say a lot about this organization. That they would much rather leave with their integrity than for allow someone to put them in a situation where they're going to commit a crime. And I totally stand by that, and I feel bad that this is the kind of organization that we've had for the last year. Or the fear-mongering because you disagree with someone's personal opinion or professional opinion based on them being subject matter experts to wage some sort of war because they particularly have used their best judgment based on their experience. And what I want so much from this organization is for employees to feel like they're welcome and appreciated. I make it a point to try to stop and speak to every one of them, good, bad, indifferent, agree or not. But I would like to see that we continue. There are some other subpoenas that I've been under relative to the actions that we've taken over the last 2 years. I think that remains to be seen and still under investigation. But, you know, I am happy to be back. I look forward to working with everyone. But I'm going to just tell you right now, my name is Trodrick McCoy. I'm not Chris Rock. If you come for me, you already know I'm going to clap back. That's all I got.
Thank you, Ms. Lanier.
Yes, I just still want to thank the voters again for their support of electing me back to my seat in District 3. The campaign was a hard-fought campaign. There were numerous lies and innuendos and rumors and anything that you can name thrown at me, even from this dais, that I am here to do the business of the city, period. When you get into politics, you have to expect that people are going to lie, people are going to start rumors, and when I say lie, I mean literally just lies. And you have to expect that. But I will not be disrespected sitting at this dais. If there are issues that you have with me, you need to talk to me directly. When I took this seat 3 years ago, I made it my business to ensure that the people of this city would come first, that Riviera Beach residents would come first. And that's what I have actually done. Me and Mr. McCoy, of course, as you can tell, have some disagreements. I have filed 2 police reports over the years just because of the aggressiveness and the fear for my safety. So I just wanted to put that out there because there are a lot of things that I do not want to bring to the public. I do not want to bring to the residents because I feel like things can be taken care of behind closed doors. But when people continuously attack you and lie about you, it becomes sometimes unbearable. So I am here to do the business of the city and of the residents who are here, and I'm hoping that we can move forward and we can work to do the business of the city and not have this back and forth. We can work together and we can do what we're supposed to do here. That is to make sure that the residents of this city are satisfied with the work that we have done. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I just wanted
Madam
to
Chair.
say. Yes, Ms. McCoy.
Respectfully, I'm asking, can I ask the manager a question before you go into yours?
Sure.
Mr. Manager, those comments sparked something in my mind. October 20th, 2020, I made a complaint regarding being threatened as an elected official while on city property. Do you recall that, Mr. Jonathan Evans? Or perhaps the Assistant City Manager?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes.
I did receive a phone call from Councilperson McCoy with respect to a complaint that he had.
And follow up, was that investigated, Mr. Jonathan Evans, the complaint that I made against being threatened by an employee?
Madam Chair, I didn't hear the question.
Go ahead. Say the question again.
Was that investigated, my complaint, investigated by the organization?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Go ahead.
That item was handled by the Riviera Beach Police Department.
So that's a yes?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to ask that question. Mr. Evans, we just got an email this week from the attorney's office regarding and I apologize, I stepped out. Ms. Wynn, did you address us regarding the preemption lawsuit that's going on in Tallahassee?
Yes, I sent information out regarding the oral argument to be held in, I believe, June 9th.
Oh, I'm sorry, did you address that tonight in this meeting?
No, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry, and thank you for indulging me because I stepped out to escort family that had to travel back to South Miami-Dade County. The reason I asked that question was because it became, I found out that the same subject of this employee was reinstated by the Civil Service Board. Why was there never any opportunity, similar to how the preemption lawsuit was, provided back to the board as to whether or not we should appeal that decision? And that's a question for both the manager and the attorney, because clearly we were plaintiffs, or we did initiate litigation in the preemption lawsuit. Why was that not brought to the board's attention?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Go ahead.
With respect to the decision that the Civil Service Board made, it hasn't been the agency practice to conceivably fight the Civil Service Board once they have acted. That hasn't been something that we have challenged. So in conversations with legal, we thought that it was only appropriate to proceed forward with the recommendations that were in the order that was provided by the Civil Service Board.
Follow up.
Go ahead.
Neither was the preemption lawsuit or actually the enactment back in 2011 of the statute that held elected officials and officers, including managers, responsible, has never been something that this organization has ever took on a constitutional challenge in court. But some kind of way, Councilwoman Botel brought this to the board, that we decided that we wanted to enter into a joint litigation with other cities to pursue litigation. Is that correct, Ms. Nguyen?
I don't believe I was here when you all entered into that, but that's my understanding is that I believe it was brought by Dr. Botel, and you all were asked to join with other counties and municipalities throughout the state in that lawsuit.
But it was different in the situation of an employee who threatened an elected official who later admitted on record that I did it, but I was just joking. That didn't warrant us being notified as a board as to whether or not we were going to appeal the decision, but a preemption lawsuit that enjoined other cities as appellants, I should say, was. Isn't that a disparity? Or certainly separate treatment? I mean, yes, no have opinion?
I don't have an opinion.
Okay, fair enough. I just want to make sure it's on the record because the record does last even if we're not here. Thank you, Madam Chair, for indulging me.
You're welcome. All right, so it's my comment time. So if we don't know this, we should know that the chair position is to facilitate the meeting. We're all council people. We all have the equal amount of decision-making, speaking. Nobody is more higher than the other. So as far as the chairperson goes, for me, has nothing to do with that. I certainly feel everyone needs to have an opportunity to say what they need to say. But the only thing is that I want to make sure that we can just be professional, get through the meeting, say what you need to say, and that's it. All of the extra stuff and the issues and I have had a great relationship with everybody on the dais up until this point, and I expect to continue that. I know there's been some issues with some of you on the board, but if we could just get through the business, if there's something you got dealing with the person, if we could keep it out of the meeting, I think that will help us move forward and be able to get the business done. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not concerned about any of the other stuff, but my hope is that we can just all work together and not be so combative with each other while we're here. I've been up here 7 years, and I've had my times of people not getting along, things happening outside of the meetings. It's a big distraction. I have other things going on in my life as well as you all have other things going on in your life. You have businesses, you have families. We don't need to add to that. So I'm just asking for us to be able to do the business. You want to talk to the person outside of it as a friend? Fine. If not, that's fine too. But if we could just do the business of the city and go home and then just let it be. Like I said earlier, I know a lot happened during the last election, but the election is over. Can we just do the business? And like I said, as far as the chair, I'm not a person that's hooked on titles. I'm not a person that has an ego issue. So none of that applies. I'm not really sure about what Mr. McCoy was stating about, like there was a sunshine violation. If anybody knows me, they know that's one thing I do not play with. I do not play with that. So at no point have I had a conversation with anyone about anything dealing with this agenda or any agenda. And I think you all know me well enough to know that it's definitely the truth from what I'm saying. So that is all I would like to say, and hope everyone have a wonderful night, and see you all next week.
Madam Chair?
We're adjourned.
Madam Chair, I make a motion. Hello?